Say alright, so first and foremost, we want to give our praises to Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem Rakakwadash. We say the one of our apostles and elders agree most on our teachers, our apostles in the shoot, and we say salutations, so I can say push on truth and say din and the out, in a constantly in season on season, we say Shalom. Once again, we're going to tell the scripture here, and it's going into some stuff that's happening around the world. So this is something that's happening in Australia right now. Now, if anybody that's keeping up with the news, or anybody that know that Australia is basically changing into a cashless society, and not them alone, but basically other countries around them, and eventually the whole world is going to turn into that, a cashless society. But nonetheless, Australia is taking a big stance with it. They on the uprise. Now, before I continue into the scripture, I would love to continue into the article. I would love to bring a scripture here, which is going into the book of Sirach, right, chapter 39, verse 1. Right, it's because at the end of the day, we're supposed to be. It's just how important the prophecies is, and the reason why the Lord said to be occupied in prophecies, because again we're seeing the prophecies happening. Because with this that I'm going in here too, you would see that eventually it lead into what the MOTB, right, which it is leading into that. Right, so this is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 39, verse 1. It says, "But he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High, and is occupied in the meditation thereof, will seek out the wisdom of all the ancient, and be occupied in prophecies." You see the importance of being what? Of being occupied in prophecies. And the scripture saying, "But he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High, and is occupied in the meditation thereof, will seek out the wisdom of all the ancient, and be occupied in prophecies." So there is a man that would be what? He for the Lord, he doing everything the Lord say, he reading in the scriptures and occupied in prophecies. You understand? An important thing is saying be occupied in prophecies, because again we're seeing the prophecies playing out. We're seeing the wars, we're seeing the pestilences, we've seen the fall of a kingdom. We've seen the uproars, the earthquakes, all the prophecies that the Lord told us about. We're seeing it happening. You understand? We're seeing it happening, right? So as the scripture says, and be occupied in prophecies. Be occupied in prophecies. Now going into this here, it says devastating decision by Australia's Big Four banks impacts 300 suburbs. It say if you're in one of these suburbs, you're missing out big time on an essential service which the rest of the country takes for granted, right? It say bank branch. No, this as I say, while I'm reading, you see the words. Hear the words this person, the person in the article is using. It say if you're in one of these suburbs, you're missing out big time. You're missing out big time. So they're making you feel like you're missing out on what it is the rest of the more populated or non-suburb areas are doing. Making you feel like you're missing out, like you're left behind. Right? They say missing out big time on an essential service which the rest of the country takes for granted. It say bank branch closures are having a devastating impact, with new data showing almost 459 branches have been shut down in the last few years, while thousands of ATMs were also removed. You understand? 459 branches have been shut down, while thousands of ATMs were also removed. So you're seeing what they're doing, your money, right? They say over the last 3 years, around 3,800 ATMs were taken out of circulation, represented more than a third of all existing cash machines in the country. Now, again, as I say, pay attention to how they're using the words. It say more than a third of all existing cash machines in the country. So you see, they're removing that, mentioning the cash, mentioning that you're missing out for what the rest of certain more impactful parts in the countries certain states in the countries are doing, right? Let's say at the same time, the big four banks, CBA, Westpac, ANZ, and NAB, right, permanently closed the doors of 459 of their branches, according to data obtained by the Daily Telegraph, right? Let's say NSW was the hardest hit state, losing 140 bank stores during a period. Of those, 20 were shut down in Sydney, and the rest were closed across smaller cities and regional areas in the state. The shutdowns left nearly 300 NSW suburbs without a branch to visit, and 216 suburbs have been left with no way to procure cash after the closure of the ATMs in the area. So now that you're not able to access your money, you have to go a longer distance to get it, right? Now again, this is all the agendas of the wicked. This is all the agendas of the wicked. It said the earth is given to the hands of the wicked. So at the end of the day, they could do what they going and do whatever it is they want to do. You understand? And we don't know their agendas are wicked. Yeah, you know. Is the book of Micah? Let's see what. Let me go to that. Book of Micah, right? Chapter 2. It says, "Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds." They work evil upon their beds. You understand? It says, when the morning is lit, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. So they have the power to do this. They have the power to remove, shut down the banks, remove the ATM. So now you out of that system where you, to get your cash money, you're out of system to get your money. So now you would do anything to receive that money. You would do anything to accept, to take all the money that you work for, to take all the money to use it. So now they make it in a way. Now you know you have to travel further. Now you have to go further. Now you have to go in a particular place. You understand? Now that might be out of your zone. So you know, frustrated and so forth, you would take anything that these people are going to bring to you, right? So you say, "Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds." At the end of the day, this the power is in their hand to do this, right? So they again. That is why we mentioned, and while Jake partying and kicking and doing TikTok videos, the wicked they're doing what they have to do on the beds. They while in the bed they're thinking about ways the next wicked thing to do. You understand? They say when the morning is light, they practice it. So if they practice it, they paid for it. So shutting down all this is just their way of the system that they're going to incorporate, right? It's because it is in the power of their hand. It is in the power of their hand. Yeah. So that's why I take a little minor pause, right? So it's because it is in the power of their hand. You understand? So it's the power of their hand to do this. You understand? So going back into the article here, it's Victoria didn't fare much better. You say losing 120 branches left thousands with nowhere to go. So again, as I say, what you words the person is using in this article. You understand? They're making it look like, hey, the fear other places doing this and you're not doing it. So they're making it seem like you have to do it and you have to come to this system then. You understand? Which eventually that is what it's going to turn to, right? It's a closures have a devastating impact on local communities. It's a finance sector, national security, right? Let me skip this. I want to go to something here. Skip all this here. Now, it's the closures are particularly bad news for regional and rural areas and older citizens, according to Miss Angrisano, right? So the closures are particularly bad news for regional and rural areas. So at the end of the day, you're seeing what it is they want to do. That's it bad for the rural, it bad for these areas, it bad for the old people. So now they would come in and say, hey, let me bring a better system. We have a matter of fact, we have a better system. You just have to take this particular thing in your hand. You just have to take this particular thing in your head. You just have to take this particular thing in your body. You understand? Which is what the RFID chip, right? Which goes into what the MOTB, which is what the mark of the beast, right? They say there needs to be better assessment of community needs before a branch is closed. They say if banks are no essential services, then perhaps we should look at how they can be relegated like other essential services. Let's say at an estimated 80% of Aussies prefer to bank online, but that still leaves the remaining 20%, or 1 in 5 Australians who visit physical stores to sort out their finances. The overwhelming majority of those people would have disabilities or low levels of digital literacy, making an in-person visit essential. So you're seeing they're talking about digital literacy and so forth. So you know what it is they want to go to, a digital system. This is something that's being talked about no matter where it is in the world. Your government is speaking about this right now. They're speaking, it must have a period of time. Within a few years, they talk about a digital system, a digital society, or we basically in a third world country, which is what, Trinidad. You understand? And the brothers could tell you, we hear our government talking about that. They already changed into that system, being a digital system, right? Let's say going down. So let me go to the piece here that so say from a financial standpoint, it is in the bank's interest to close on as many branches as possible, right? They said the traditional banks are facing more and more competition from new entrants, such as digital banks, non-bank lenders, and buy now pay later services. And to stay profitable, they will reduce their biggest costs, which are wages and overheads, like buildings. She explained. As you see, the first thing she mentioned was digital banks, which goes into what? Which goes into you go in. You don't even need to go in. It is using a digital system. You have to take out no money, and we don't know this is what they're going into. We're not ignorant of what it is the wicked doing or what it is they plan to do. Again, we turn to the scriptures, and the Lord give us that. The answers are there. The answers are there in the scriptures. This is going to bring in the what? The MOTB. This is going to bring in that. Talking about the digital banks. You don't know where it is leading to, or where this is going to. That cash system is about to be done away with. That cash system is about to be finished. You understand? And now you'll be what? You'll be scanning your hand. Now you'll have things in your hand. You already see Sweden do it, Australia, Gibraltar, and other places. They going into that system. You understand? And again, the whole world is going to go into that system. The IMOTV system. You understand? The RFID chip soon come to be a decision for you. Whether you take it or you're not going to take it, whether you stand for the Lord or you're not stand for the Lord. And one of the ways to go and do this is, as you can see, an important thing they know where to touch is your money, which so they touch in the banks. You understand? That's why the scripture say, be occupied in prophecies. You understand? You see, the wicked, again, the scripture say, it is in the power of their hand to do this. So we know what it is they want to do. Again, touching money. You know, as people go, hey, men don't want to lose their money, so they go in and take whatever it is they bring, so they could get the money. You understand? So it's this is 2 Peter chapter 1 verse 19. It says we have also a more sure word of prophecy, whereunto ye do well that ye take heed. Take heed as unto a light that shineth in a dark place until the day dawn and the day star arise in your hearts. So say we have also a more sure word of prophecy. Again, for major prophecy is what? The MOTB, the mark of the beast. And it's seen now when you watch and you're occupied and wait in the prophecies and so forth, you're seeing what it is they want to do. Taking away a man's money, he will fall, he will get weak, and he will take whatever it is you bring to get his money. You understand? So that's why they're talking about digital banks, a digital system, and all this sort of stuff. Removing the ATMs and these things now. They know what it is. They know what it is they're doing and what it is they're planning to do or what it is they're going to do. So again, this is just an update. So this is an update on what it is going on around the world. And again, I was going to touch upon certain things I see with the nuclear war, what put it on and moving as nukes and bombing up a nuclear plant and so forth. But nonetheless, I saw this morning. I was like, hey, need to do a video on this. All right. So again, hey, as scripture say, take heed, watch and pray, right? So with that we give our praises to Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahshai, Ba'Shem Kakodash. We said about apostles and elders agreements and well, our teachers, our apostles in the truth. I will say salutations. So the Akamas push on to say day and day out. Concealing season we say Shalom.